Today is 18th of September 2022 and the month is coming to the end. You're most welcome to Smart 24 Television, where we're driving business, and this is the business edition where we're making a recap of the stories that made the headlines in the days of the week. My name is Pedison Mumbere and I'll be right back in just a minute. I welcome you once again to Smart 24 TV, and the business edition starts now. Let's start with our very own story, where the members of Parliament on the National Budget Committee and the officials from the Ministry of Finance visited Entebbe International Airport to assess the progress of the free trade zone and see how it can be enhanced. Our reporter Rona Nahawe went with them and she has us the details.
A free zone area is a geographical area exempted from taxes or internal taxes and customs. Today, members of Parliament toured the Entebbe International Free Zone area that is at 40% complete. This needs more 31 billion shillings to be complete. This is the first of the public free zone areas in the country. We are looking at traders from all over the country coming here to refine their gold, fruits from Soroti. All this will be processed at a free tax here at the International Airport Free Zone area. We have more. Export earnings in financial year 2020-2021 amounted to 1,247 billion US dollars. That is 23% of the Uganda's export earnings. However, there was a drop in 2021-2022 due to the 5% levy on gold. Still, 9,000 jobs were created and investment attracted 586.28 million US dollars. Revenue collected from the free zones in the country amounted to 35 billion shillings. In order to be the facilitator of choice for export-oriented investments, Uganda Free Zones Authority needs more support from government.
Government about 51 billion. So far, government has invested over 20 billion, so there's a balance of about 31 billion. In this financial year, we expect to get an additional 22 billion. And we should be able to reach about 80% by June this financial year. That's 30th June 2023. And shortly thereafter, we should be able to hand over this project as a turnkey plug-and-play facility for investors, for processors, for industrialists.
To boost our exports. And those who will be doing manufacturing and value addition here will basically do it tax-free. So you can move items here to another free zone in another country without paying taxes. So that, in a way, is a global system that helps you to promote exports. So it will do a lot of work. I wish we could have many of these across the country where you manufacture and export without tax. You know, that gives the private sector capital and to again reinvest into the economy and do value addition. So that is the intention of the Free Port Authority.
Government says the project is financially and economically feasible, adding that it is fully committed to promoting its exports.
Still needs to be nurtured. All the investors who come in here, we believe they don't have other options. And so doing, we must give them, number one, a good operating environment and also the favorable government policies, including taxation, to make them attracted to come and invest in our economy. And lastly, we are committed as a government to improve infrastructure in the free zones and also in the industrial parks. The main difference between the free zones and the industrial parks comes in a sense that the free zones are more focused on production for exports, whereas the industrial parks do both. Therefore, our overall agenda is to see that both of them are supported.
Yeah, these are most of the stories that made the headlines in the days of the week, but reports are saying that if our international free trade is enhanced, it will help the companies that are exporting their exports outside the country. Let's get to another story here where the COSASA is finalizing with the Uganda Airlines. But still in the days of the week, there are some other things that were unearthed, including the poor implementation of finances at the Uganda Airlines. Our parliamentary reporter was there and she has us the details.
The committee was given 2 weeks by the management to get organized and return with the required paperwork, but they still showed up without enough supporting evidence for their claims.
In place. We didn't put it in place because we moved our equipment from the dust handling shed to our own shed.
So what justifies now? How
so
do
now
we
the
account
payment,
for
so
the other means?
this payment hasn't been made because if you notice, it is more than the 8,000. It's about 40 something. If I recall, $43,000. This payment hasn't been made yet because we don't have an agreement. So Paul and his team and procurement have been having discussions with DAS on how to handle this matter.
But earlier on you said you have some MOUs with DAS that you're going to share.
Yes, we have some MOUs with DAS because we do a lot of work with them, being our handler, and those we will share with you tomorrow.
Okay, so yes, those. Now, this particular one. So you're saying your finance team is handling. We want to know how they are handling because the time has since passed. DAS is saying you owe us this money. And
I want to join both. Looking at the response from the accounting officer, I don't know whether Jennifer understands that she's the accounting officer as we speak today. And in that respect, I don't know whether she's ready to account for what happens in the institution. When she says that, the former procurement department was suspended, that alone cannot really exonerate her from taking on her responsibility as the accounting officer. I would expect that she would be in possession of those documents and she would be able to account for whatever happens in the institution.
Since its establishment, the airline has lost more than 500 billion shillings, and the majority of those losses, according to the committee's chairperson, Honorable Joel Senyonyi, are attributable to the management's failure to adhere to procurement regulations.
There are so many procurement challenges within Uganda Airlines. You find that equipment worth billions of shillings is bought, they do not follow procurement guidelines. In many cases, because the Auditor General clearly states he did not see this equipment. Most of it, even the documents showing that this equipment was bought and so on, they were not available. So that for us causes us to smell a rat. That's how theft gets to happen, yeah? Because if you procured things, you've not followed the procurement guidelines, and then the equipment does not exist, the Auditor General hasn't seen it, the documents pertaining to the equipment do not exist. No wonder the losses of Uganda Airlines are high, over 500 billion shillings to date. Any company, of course, can make losses, yeah, for many different reasons, especially when it is starting out. But if part of the losses are attributable to these procurement issues, you're saying you bought equipment, it does not exist, there are no documents to show that you actually bought this equipment and all of that, it's very problematic, yeah? But we'll keep digging out all these issues, we'll keep exposing all the rot, because ultimately, Uganda Airlines must be able to function the right way because the taxpayer injects a lot of money therein.
Senyonyi claims that the CEO, Mrs. Bamturaki, asked for money to travel last year and received over 50 million shillings per diem, but the trip never took place and that money was never reimbursed.
So one of the issues we have established is that Jennifer Bamturaki, last year when she was still acting CEO, she put in a requisition to travel, to go and visit stations of Uganda Airlines, where their country offices are in different countries. and she was given per diem of up to about 50 million Uganda shillings. But then she did not travel to these destinations, okay? Challenge is she did not refund the money, because if you get money, it's meant to do a certain piece of work and you don't do that piece of work, then refund the money. And you saw I kept asking her, so what happened? Why did you refund the money? She was mute. Clearly because the records we have show she did not travel, which is problematic. That is theft. If you get money and it's meant to do a certain job and you don't do the job, refund the money. Otherwise then you become a thief. You can't say, let me keep it, I might have an upcoming trip. After 2 years, no, it's totally unacceptable.
The committee has requested the airline management to return tomorrow with the missing documents, particularly those that show how the airline engaged the company, Abaveta. Additionally, he asserts the committee will not rest until it has produced its report.
Provide all those documents. Honorable Kamba listed a couple of them. Paul, I believe you wrote each of those to make sure you avail them all tomorrow.
The State Minister for Urban Development, Honorable Obiga Kania, over the weekend traveled to Mbarara City to monitor and launch the infrastructure development that are being funded by the World Bank and USMID. I traveled there and I heard the reports. Let's have a look at this very one. Mbarara City, Uganda's second largest city after Kampala, is located in the country's western region. It is a beneficiary of USMID AF $360 million World Bank funded initiative over 5 years that aims to develop road networks, street lighting, drainage, tax parks, among other things, in the new cities and municipalities across the country.
On behalf of the government of Uganda, the Ministry of Lands, Urban and Development, and on my own behalf, I have the pleasure to launch the construction.
A new work of roads measuring 3.9 kilometers has been constructed at a cost of 19 billion shillings, with civil works estimated to last 9 months. Obiga Kania, the State Minister for Urban Development, presided at the groundbreaking ceremony for the 5 key highways that are projected to boost economic and social development in the new city.
So please, in this task, I call upon the local leaders to help us. Beginning with you, the Lord Mayor, I'm happy. Keep visiting these projects to make sure that they deliver. These contractors, don't leave them alone. The councillors, the elected leaders. This is a free gift for you to win the next elections. It is a fulfillment of the President's manifesto. Right. But the biggest beneficiaries are you, the local people, and the leadership.
The minister promoted significant relationship between domestic and foreign construction enterprises, urging that they would improve the transfer of knowledge, competence, and contract performance.
What I want is, one, quality work. Quality work. But I have trust in you, because you worked in some of the roads, and we did not have any issues. I know you will work, but that was, you know, that this is a big thing. You must show your expertise.
The Mayor Mbarara City, Robert Kachebezi, revealed at the same ceremony that the 5 highways and 2 beautification projects are located in the city's north and south divisions. Additionally, he vowed to make sure that the work was done well and was closely supervised.
I've had a number of roads rehabilitated. As I shall explain, we have had street lights. Actually, they were the first street lights, solar street lights. We had local revenue enhancement, structure detailed planning, retooling of offices.
This third stage of road construction in Mbarara City follows the second, during which a number of rival projects appeared and caused the project's progress to lag by more than 6 months. The renovation of the major Victor Bwana Road, Gulf Road, and Stanley, totaling 2.36 kilometers, is included in Phase 2's ongoing development projects. These have 23 billion shillings expenditure line.
Work and work done timely, stop delays. Then quick response to people's cries. These people will make, you see, when they are calling, please always listen to them and help them. About 3 to 4 days, people were crying without water as a result of road works and blaming national water and also blaming us. So we said, no, let us work hand in hand and we solve the issue.
In order to improve the economic and living circumstances in Mbarara City, leaders encouraged collaborative partnership between indigenous and foreign-owned enterprises. Yeah, these are some of the infrastructure development in Mbarara City. But according to records, they're saying that Mbarara City is benefiting from a new set of urban roads that are worth 18.9 billion. So I think if that work is being monitored very well, our municipalities, most especially the new municipalities that are benefiting from this USMID program, will be developed. Getting to another story here, we are talking about the debt of Uganda, the budget stock of Uganda, the debt stock of Uganda, where it has gone higher, and most of the stakeholders, including the president of Uganda, are thinking of merging some of the government parastatals to reduce on government spending. You see, when the debt goes higher, it stresses a lot the country's economy. Let's have more of this very story.
Prior to the president's statement to the ministers in August of this year, the merging of parastatals had been planned for years, but had not yet been put in action. With the help of economic specialists, Smart24 TV looked into the effect of merging parastatals, and a number of factors were highlighted.
So for government, it is about the agencies that are doing almost the same type of work, that is duplication. But they can, if they were consolidated into one, they can even do it better, at a lesser cost, more effective, and also on time and on budget. And we have been giving examples. One is the Public Service Commission, for example. Their job is to recruit public servants. Yeah. The Health Service Commission, their job is to recruit health workers. But health workers are also public servants. Education Service Commission is to recruit teachers. Teachers are also public servants. So if you bring all of them under one roof, it means that you are saving on time in terms of people accessing the service, because the service is going to be under one roof. You are saving on expenditure because you have only one board.
Yes, I think restructuring government is long overdue. And government strategy should not be only about eliminating certain agencies. It should be a holistic approach aimed at eliminating duplication of roles, because you realize that even if you keep a ministry, but where roles have been duplicated, I mean, you have possibly 5 officers doing more or less the same thing. In my view, that still becomes a leakage. You still have to pay money for work that is not done, or for work that otherwise would be done by one person, but we are paying 5 people to do it. So it's a good move, it's a good thing. It will help cut down on the cost of administration.
CEO of CS Bank, Julius Mugunda, defended the decision to merge parastatals by arguing that the government can reduce the national debt, which has reached $1 trillion levels.
At the saving, we can pay our debt, which is now in 93 trillion. This financial year, we are likely to get around 12 trillion in terms of domestic borrowing, 7 trillion in terms of external borrowing. 1 trillion is huge. We are going to pay 6 trillion in interest payments. So really, it's huge to reduce on the burden of the debt that we're having in this country. So that's really one of the things that I think rationalization will help.
Experts advised the government to continue with the strategy, saying that it will help to improve Uganda's economic situation.
We want to look at countries that have not done so and are very far, because no country should do a mistake and then collect it again. We made a mistake, but we know there are countries that are running smaller, leaner, effective governments. Why don't we follow those ones? Just even within the region, we have the highest number of members of parliament. Why don't we reduce on that one? The highest number of districts. Kenya have counties. But just imagine how many districts we have in this country. You go to, compare ourselves with, go to India, they have 1.3 billion people. But come to Uganda, with 44 million people, our parliament, the numbers are more than those of the Indians.
You know, we need to reduce cabinet. You have more than 81 ministers. You need to reduce the officers of RDCs. You need to downsize several institutions. And make sure that you put money in agriculture, put money in education, put money in infrastructure, put money in roads and so forth. The appeal is that the people of this country must push government to invest in industrialization and job creation.
With the ongoing misuse of the public funds, the civil society organizations believe that the government, to limit some of its expenses, it should go on with merging of its parastatals. For example, UNEB should take on all examination boards like UAHEB, UBTEB, among others. Desire Nambiru, Smart 24 TV.
Yeah, I think here the leaders are looking at reducing the government expenditure than having very many government parastatals that can do the same role. Getting to another story here, the Certified Public Accountants of Uganda, in conjunction with other financial bodies, are organizing the Financial Reporting Awards that seems to improve the way how people can write their financial statements. And I did this story over the weekend. I assessed the benefits of having these Financial Reporting Awards. Let's get a look at this story.
The world goes tech. You're also free to send them online. And you use www.icpau.co.ug/FIRE-awards.
The Certified Public Accountants of Uganda, in partnership with Capital Market Authority and Uganda Securities Exchange, have yet organized another Financial Reporting Award in Uganda. But what is the benefits of this award? It helps most of the government entities and private entities to learn how to write the best financial reports that can be fronted before the financial funders and get loans. Stakeholders are saying that since 2007, they have been organizing this award and they have recorded a significant impact on how companies are writing their financial reports. Typically done on a quarterly or annual basis, financial reporting is the process of recording and conveying financial activities and performance across certain time periods. Financial reports are used by businesses to compile accounting data and provide information on their current financial situation.
Language used to break down those terminologies and how they have been displayed or disclosed. And you compare with the global banks like Bank of America and HSBC, you say, wow, is this a report from Uganda? To us, that is the impact we are talking about, that our Ugandan entities can no longer be described as local entities. These are global players. And as a result of that, we have seen a lot of foreign investment coming into a country because they have confidence in the financial reporting in the country, and we have seen ICPAU increase membership to over 3,000 members now registered.
Kampala will host the awards ceremony on September 30th, 2022 to encourage the corporate community to adhere to the financial reporting standards.
To see, for example, those in industry and business, those in the public sector, the NGOs and many other players in the economy of Uganda comply with these financial reporting standards as adopted by the Institute. But there was a very heated debate, and the debate was, how should we check this compliance? Should we go the stick way and probably follow up these entities and check how do they do their reporting?
According to reports, the overall goal of the Financial Reporting Awards is to improve the quality of financial and business reporting in Uganda to encourage the implementation of best practices.
You do proper and effective financial reporting, you become attractive to funders, and you can easily mobilize financial support. Of course, also one of the standards that are being used are those international financial reporting standards for small and medium entities. Not many companies in our countries are making use of this standard.
Raising capital, and remember, when you present these reports, we can get banks like DFCU, we can get companies in the pharmaceutical sector like CIPLA, we can get those in manufacturing that become much more decent and presentable to investors.
One downside of using financial accounts for decision-making is that facts and figures are based on the current market conditions. Executives' judgment will stay at the same or increase because the market is unpredictable and can change suddenly. The organizers of these awards are saying this is going to improve on the quality of writing business reports. And now I'll be going in for a commercial break. I'll be right back with more stories. Just stay around on the Smart 24 television, where we are driving business, and this is the business edition.